in Moto2 outside of Spain? Or will it be Franco Morbidelli? Maybe. We're foolish to underestimate the championship leader based on what he's done so far this year. Green flag waves at the back. Here we go. 18 laps of Silverstone is underway. Good start from all guys on the front row. Nakagami got away well also. Oh, Pasini though can't keep the front end down, and it's Marquez that gets the lead from Nakagami.
Pasini's been absolutely swallowed up. He's in 5th place as Pasini had big wheelies. He tried to get away off the line from pole position. 2 other riders also dropping back through the pack.
Through Maggots and Beckett so quick here. Brilliant aerial shots. It is Alex Marquez though that has got the advantage. They won't want to allow him too much time out front.
So
onto the back straight we go then, and Binder there struggling. It's Marquez from Nakagami and Morbidelli. Good start also from Luca Marini in 4th.
Yeah, Pasini did get swallowed up. He's back down in 5th place under attack from Aegerter and Luthi. Having a look at the inside of Aegerter at Stowe Corner. I think Luthi found a way through, on board with the race leader Alex Marquez, down through Vale, into the club complex now, hard on the brakes into turn 8, and Morbidelli's attacking Nakagami, and Morbidelli is straight away into 2nd place.
Alex Marquez has already been given a chance here, isn't he? Look at this first lap from Alex. Those guys tussling for 2nd place have just allowed Alex already half a second up front.
Yeah, brilliant first 3/4 of the opening lap so far then from Marquez. Vierge having a good start. He's come through into 8th place. We know what a hard charge and how aggressive Vierge can be in those first couple of laps. Nakagami has been picked off by Luca Marini now as well, so Marini's having a real barnstorming opening lap. Pasini back up the inside of Aegerter.
Pasini definitely has the pace to run at the front of this race, and after the error at the start he'll want to try and make up for that. Onto the Wellington straight we go. Alex Marquez and Franco Morbidelli 1st and 2nd, and it's Marini, Nakagami, Pasini, Aegerter, and Tom Luthi's there just behind fellow Swiss rider.
Yeah, Miguel Oliveira struggling on that opening lap. He's just lost another place to Pecco Bagnaia, so the Portuguese man's lost 3 places now on this opening lap. As they come through Woodcote for the first time, it will be Alex Marquez quite comfortably in the lead. Marquez into the 209s, Morbidelli the 210s, everybody else doing 211s or 212s immediately behind them, so straight away Alex Marquez has got a 6/10 of a second buffer over his teammate.
It's exactly what he would have wanted, the perfect start for Alex Marquez. Let's just watch Pasini here as we went away. Just couldn't keep that front end down and then ends up falling behind. Oh, nearly clipped the back of Alex Marquez.
I think there was probably contact actually. We'll see it on board. This is an onboard shot from Morbidelli. Do they touch? Oh, it's very close. Morbidelli actually almost tagged the rear of Pasini as well. That's why Nakagami was able to sweep through. Now look at this, the Marc VDS pair are checking out very early on here at Silverstone. Pasini's found his way through on Nakagami. He's up in the 4th place. He's got Marini next to his eye line. But there's a danger that the 2 Marc VDS men are going to run away with this very early on.
Defensive line there from Marini in 3rd place. Pasini desperate to find a way past and try and hunt those 2 guys down up front. Morbidelli on that last couple of sectors has just taken a 10th or so out of Alex Marquez. He's hunting down his teammate, of course.
We're still awaiting the first real classic showdown between Marquez and Morbidelli. Will it be coming today? Marini still holding off Pasini as they sweep through Farm Curve for the 2nd time. Tom Luthi has got himself through on Dominique Aegerter. Ika Lekawona has crashed out of the British Grand Prix on lap number 2, so Luthi's now up inside that top 6.
Oh, chopping and changing here, Pasini and Marini. They're very good friends off circuit, but that's 3 overtakes and 3 corners. To the Wellington straight we go again, and now finally Pasini set free. Can he close down the 2 Marc VDS boys?
Well, while that was going on, as Nakagami also picks off Marini down into Brooklands, while Pasini and Marini are engaging in that pretty engrossing dogfight, it's giving Morbidelli and Marquez the chance to further open up their advantage in the front of the race. Lap 2 about to be completed. We'll check what Marquez's advantage is over Morbidelli, then see what the gap is between Morbidelli and Pasini, 2nd and 3rd. Alex Marquez, has he got the hammer down on what? Fastest lap of the race, 2:06.844, 10th faster than Morbidelli.
That's the lap record gone. Tito Rabat held that in 2013. It's just been absolutely obliterated by Alex Marquez.
0.3 of a second inside the lap record, and Alex Marquez is doing his very best very early on here to break up the field.
He saw that this was potentially going to happen. earlier in the weekend. He had great race pace from the moment we turned up here.
Did it in Barcelona, didn't he, Steve? When he got away at the front very early on, he was able to stage manage the race quite beautifully. Never really at the circuit to Barcelona, Catalunya, did it ever look like anybody was going to hunt him down. We hope for the spectacle that Franco Morbidelli has got something left in the tank.
Franco Morbidelli, though, won't push beyond his own limits, will he? He tried that in Jerez. It went horribly wrong. He cannot afford to have a DNF next to his name, not on a day like this. His lead is comfortable, but it's 26 points. He crashed out of this, and Luthi picks up some big points, and all of a sudden it's back on again.
Toto Rabat won't be happy to lose his lap record, but it still stays with the Marc VDS team. Of course, Rabat was riding for them in 2013 when he set that lap record.
There's Tom Luthi.
Getting it a bit loose coming through Abbey, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's just made up another place, though. And so Luthi now, Marini thought about moving back up the inside of retaliating, but Luthi's up to 5th behind Nakagami now.
Oh, he's showing good pace here, isn't he, Tom Luthi? Stefano Manzi's having a good ride. Ikalekuona has crashed and remounted to rejoin this race. Manzi's actually just gone inside the top 10, so he's keeping company. He hasn't kept so far in this Moto2 World Championship. Front 10 washing out for Lekuona, down on the hard braking zone for turn 8.
He made a good start there as well, just up behind Brad Binder and Baldassari.
Did a good job there, but looks a bit to hold the clutch in as well. A little bit frustrated with himself.
Yeah, just a bit. It was looking like it was a career best qualifying for him as well. Brilliant lap times coming in, and Franco Morbidelli now responds. Morbidelli with a new lap record. Matt, they are half a second quicker than the old lap record.
These guys are in a different race at the moment. Pasini is 2 seconds behind Franco Morbidelli. These two are lapping quite comfortably in the 206s right now. Nobody else can get anywhere near it, although Nakagami did a 207.0. Luthi, to be fair, actually did get into the 206s himself. He was only a tenth slower than Morbidelli. The problem for Luthi is, though, has he already given these two at the front of the race too big of a buffer? Can he claw it back? Luthi was 3 seconds behind Marquez over the line. That's an awful lot of time to claw back. He has got time. You can't see Marquez and Morbidelli slowing up that dramatically as Nakagami sweeps back into 3rd place by Pasini on that drag down the Hanger Straight.
Yeah, we know he's got the pace, and Nakagami does take a couple of laps just to get into the swing of things, doesn't he? Luthi now we're on board with, trying to find a way past Pasini. And can he run with Nakagami? It's unlikely at the moment anyone's going to catch those two out front. They are storming it so far, but there's a lot of race left, and a lot could change.
So Marquez and Morbidelli then through Abbey on lap number 4. The gap's still 0.7 of a second between the two teammates. Now as Nakagami got the rhythm and the pace to break away from Pasini and Luthi into the village corner.
Here's Nakagami, number 30, followed by poleman Pasini, still trying to recover after what happened at the start. Then Luthi. Luthi's now well placed to try and get in the slipstream of Pasini. Here's your race leader, though, Alex Marquez. Now, for how long will Franco Morbidelli push at the limits that he's at the moment? He has got the most to lose here. Alex Marquez still in this championship just, but he would need to win a lot of races from here on in. Less to lose for him, a lot to lose for Morbidelli in second.
Yeah, this would cut the advantage if you threw the checker flag now, down to 49 points between Marquez and Morbidelli. There's the gap over the line. Yeah, Morbidelli was able to take out a fraction of time on him. There's Miguel Oliveira, who's going to pay possibly for a fairly sluggish start yet again. Good fight going on between Pasini, Nakagami and Luthi, though. That's really hotting up that battle for 3rd place. And all the time while they're scrapping it out and dicing it out, it's giving Marquez and Morbidelli the chance to clear off into the distance again. The gap between Morbidelli and Nakagami is up to nearly 2.5 seconds. Tell you who's had a really, really bad start to this Grand Prix. There's Lorenzo Baldassari. He started in 7th on that forward race in Calix, and he's now down in 14th place. He's doing 2:08, Baldassari. I don't know if something's happened to him, but he's had a shocker.
Yeah, I just saw him in the background there, almost going on the grass as well. He's really out of sorts here. He's out of shape, and he's lost touch with the top 10 completely.
Oliveira's picked off Marini, finally, down into Stowe Corner. So Oliveira now has got clear track in front of him to try and hunt down those three, sweeping through Club Corner now. Luthi, Pasini and Nakagami next in the eye line for Oliveira. This time around, Oliveira was half a second faster than Marini, so no surprise that he was pretty desperate to get through on the Italian.
Marquez has opened up another 10th over Morbidelli at the front of this race. Is this another storming lap coming in then from Alex? Franco Morbidelli just seems to have an advantage in the final sector here, and Luthi, at the moment as it stands, I know there's a long way to go, third looks like the best he can hope for here.
Yeah, not making any real significant impression at the moment on Pasini and Nakagami. It's in that third sector where Morbidelli's just able to nick a bit of time back on Alex Marquez. It's only small margins though. He's only picked up, well, what, 3 thousandths, very, very tiny margins in actual fact. He's back with the battle for third place. There's a lot of experience in this battle with Nakagami, Pasini and Tom Luthi. We're talking close to 500 Grand Prix appearances there. On they come.
207.1 for Marquez, a 207 flat for Morbidelli, so he does find time in that final sector.
Baldassari's got back into his rhythm. He's just set a personal best lap of the race, a 207.8. That's only 2 or 3 tenths slower than this group. Luthi has found a way through on Pasini then, so Tom Luthi is now up in the 4th place.
9 podiums in 11 races for Tom Luthi. He is a master recently at managing to salvage something from a day, even if he hasn't got the pace to win it. He would have probably taken a podium when he woke up this morning.
Just interested to see how much time Miguel Oliveira's got to make up to get himself into this battle. He's 1.2 seconds behind Pasini. Morbidelli's definitely closing up here. This is down in the braking zone, 4 turns, 8 and 9, then they'll sweep through this brilliant right-hander, chapel curve, brings you on to the international pit straight. Trump corner rather.
Yeah, and as these two close up, the face of Michael Bartolini springs to mind. Does he really want these guys to engage in battle? He wants them first and second, of course he does. He might be wincing shortly as we see a replay here of Alex Marquez in his start. That was close.
It gets pretty tight, yeah. Very, very close to wearing some of that striking blue paint from Pasini.
Brilliant slow-mo shots as well of him sliding it around turn 18, Woodcott onto the start-finish straight.
That's all-out attack from Alex Marquez. You have to be when you've got Franco Morbidelli breathing on your exhaust pipes.
Morbidelli, every time he's been on the podium this year, he's been on the top step. He normally doesn't settle for second place. Can he close in on his teammate? We're watching him now. It looks like he is as they make their way round to complete another lap. This will be faster from Morbidelli again, with 12 laps to go across the line for Alex Marquez. He's a couple of tenths slower.
3 tenths he picked up, didn't he? Yeah, good lap that by Morbidelli, and now he's really starting to ramp up the pressure here. Alex Marquez will be feeling the heat.
Through Maggots we go. And now he's right on him. He's closed it completely up. Corner speed. Morbidelli carries through Maggots. Absolutely incredible. Is he close enough to get into the slipstream of his teammate? Maybe not on this lap. Left through turn 6. Now onto the hanger straight. And he is in the slipstream, you know. We're on board with Alex Marquez. And now you'll see that 21 close up. He's not close enough to go underneath him.
The majority of races this year, Steve, what we've seen is that in terms of tyre management in the last third of Grand Prix, it's been advantage Morbidelli over his teammate Marquez.
He could settle Franco Morbidelli. It would be 49 points over Marquez he'd have, and it'd extend his lead over Tom Luthi. He just doesn't really strike you as a guy to settle on days like this. Not if he gets a sniff anyway.
Looks like Nakagami striking free in that battle for 30 years. Yeah, Nakagami's opened up a second on Tom Luthi. Last time around, in fact, Nakagami was the quickest of the top 3. He took 6 tenths of a second out of Luthi, so Nakagami's got into a real good rhythm. He's broken away very quickly from the advances of Luthi and Pasini as Morbidelli pushes that front end. And Oliveira from nowhere. A couple laps ago, he's 1.4 seconds behind Pasini. Now he's swarming all over the back of the Italian. And Tom Luthi thought he was going to run it a little bit wide coming through Aintree. Look at Oliveira, he's got so much better corner speed, so much better edge grip than Pasini in front of him. Surely it's only a matter of if and not when.
There is Nakagami closing up, then it's Luthi, Pasini, Oliveira. If Oliveira could get those starts nailed and those opening laps on the full tank going, he is a contender for race wins week in, week out. Something that they'll look to try and get sorted next year in a championship assault. On board with Pasini, he started pole, he's currently in 5th on the curbs there. And look at this at the front, across the line we go, and he's pulling out the slipstream here. Here he comes, Franco Morbidelli. He makes his move on teammate Alex Marquez, but he runs it wide, and now they're side by side, and Alex Marquez immediately retaliates.
Pretty tight coming out of Cop's corner. They sweep into Maggots then on lap number 8. Advantage Marquez, so Morbidelli briefly led this British Grand Prix. Now in the past when we've seen Morbidelli get to the front, he's been able to hold off the charge of his teammate Alex Marquez. Instant retaliation though coming in from the Spaniard. That's what he needs to do. Rough up Morbidelli, break up his rhythm. You don't want to give clear track to Franco Morbidelli because that's when he's at his most dangerous.
He's in the bubble, he pulls out, and now it's a battle of the brakes, and Morbidelli there was pretty much allowed through by Alex Marquez. The door left wide open. Will Morbidelli though have to defend now as they come through Vale?
Well, it's been 3 or 4 laps in a row now that Morbidelli has definitely been the faster man on track. He's closed a second in on Alex Marquez. Now, what has Alex Marquez got? Has Morbidelli just been sitting there waiting, biding his time? Does he feel like he's got the pace? Does he feel like he's got the rhythm to immediately break away from his teammate Marquez?
Nakagami's taken another 4 tenths out of these two while they've been scuffling. He's in 3rd at the moment. He continues to catch at this rate. He'll be with them in about 5 or 6 laps. Here's the move then, up the inside, nicely done, but he couldn't quite hold the line. Marquez then back through on him. Then it was all done again at Stoke.
Marquez did take off at the start of this race like a scolded cat. He just burned up his rear tyre, trying to make a break that he could try and manage in the latter stages. We'll see what he's got for Morbidelli at the moment. Not a lot, because Morbidelli very, very quickly has been able to establish an advantage of close to 2.5 tenths of a second.
This is the battle for 4th, being led by Luthi, Pasini, Oliveira. Now, the last lap around, Nakagami was 2.9 seconds adrift of the leading group. Let's see what happens here as we go across the line. Morbidelli it is then that has this one at the moment, and Nakagami 2.2, he's found 7 tenths.
Nakagami last time around was 7 tenths faster than Morbidelli. Tara McKenzie unfortunately crashed out of his home Grand Prix. He was running down in 29th place. Alex Marquez last time around just dropped back into the 208s for the first time in this race. Nicolai has also retired after his early fall, and Marquez has quickly gobbled up that deficit of 3 tenths of a second to get himself right back onto Morbidelli's rear tyre.
Carried so much corner speed going into Maggots, did Alex Marquez, and what that's done is given him a chance now to bite back. He pulls out of the slipstream of Franco Morbidelli. Will Morbidelli give him the room? No. Last of the late breakers, Franco holds on for now, but the man in 3rd is catching, and you can see him in the background. Nakagami looking good again. This is the best we've seen of him since Hasil.
Nakagami desperately needs Alex Marquez to get back into the lead, start disrupting Morbidelli's rhythm. If these two start taking chunks out of each other, having a real good ding-dong at the front, then Nakagami is going to be coming back into contention. Confirmation on your screens there of Tara McKenzie's crash.
Tom Luthi trying to now peel away from Pasini and Oliveira. He wants to join Nakagami. That would light Luthi's eyes up. Let's just see here. Tara McKenzie there losing the front end. He's just fallen behind fellow Brit Jake Dixon, who's having a good run out on his debut here. Shame for him on his home Grand Prix. Here we are then looking at Miguel Oliveira trying to find a way past Mattia Pasini.
Cannot get through, can he? Pasini, dogged determination to hang on to that 5th place.
Nakagami, there's no stopping him now. He's down to 1.4 seconds now, the gap. He is absolutely charging here, and the pace he showed this morning is a clear sign that he has found something.
Yeah, he really has. He was quickest in the warm-up. Through sector 3, Morbidelli had got to an advantage of 3.5 tenths to Alex Marquez. So what's the gap coming over the line? Last time around, coming through this Woodcote section, it looked like Alex Marquez was getting a bit more rear wheel spin than Morbidelli. They're coming over the line any second now. The two might be the S-men. Nothing between them. 2:07.9, the pair of them. 4 tenths faster though was Taka Nakagami. The gap down to 1.5 seconds.
Luthi, Pasini and Oliveira are quicker than the leaders as well. Morbidelli and Marquez, if they continue at this pace, this is going to be some race at the end, because these guys are all catching Morbidelli and Marquez. Now, whether it's just a lull and Morbidelli's just trying to save some tyre, who knows? But these boys had best watch out. The pit boards here, well, there'll be alarm bells ringing.
Well, the good news for us and the good news for the fans here and at home is that Franco Morbidelli has not been able to dismantle his teammate Alex Marquez so far. Marquez is fighting back down the hanger straight. Marquez leads down into Stowe Corner on lap number 10.
It looked like on lap 2 or 3 that this was going to be a bit of a bore, maybe. Peel away at the front and sit back and just watch it unfold.
Oh, Oliveira's out wide, Steve. I think that was Oliveira. I think he just made a mistake going into Stowe Corner. He did.
Rejoined circuit, but that's the end of his podium chances. What a shame for Oliveira. And once again, just as he starts to get into things, it's all gone wrong for him, and he's just lost another place there as well. It's not looking good here for the Portuguese rider as he sits up.
Has he got some kind of problem?
Looks like he might have,
he wasn't even looking to defend those positions at all, was he? I don't know if he's had a problem or...
Here we are then. He's lost his gears, look.
Yeah.
He's got no gears there. He's hit a false neutral. Look, he's not even kicking back into gear.
The way that he was just sort of sitting there, and now it flies back.
Oh yeah, hit a false neutral there by the sound of things. Either that or there's a severe gearbox issue for Oliveira. We'll find out in a minute if he continues the race. Right, back to the front of this one. Alex Marquez then takes the lead over Morbidelli. The gap then back to Nakagami's 1.2.
Straight away, Marquez as well has been able to open up 5 or 6 bike lengths on Morbidelli. Nakagami's got time. 8 laps and 2 corners of this race remaining. Marquez, this time around, can he break Morbidelli? He's already had one crack at it at the start of the race, and Morbidelli was able to claw the gap back.
Alex Marquez there being given 2 signals, the gap back to Morbidelli and the gap to Nakagami as well. And that time around there was a response from Marquez in terms of the lap times. Morbidelli struggling though.
Poor old Oliveira. He lost 7 seconds in that instant at Stowe Corner. He's now just fighting the hanging for point scoring place. He's 14th and now the KTM man.
Further back, Brad Binder is up inside the points. He's made good ground. Corsi's inside the top 10. Stefano Manzi 9th. What a great ride that is. Battling with his teammate Pecco Bagnaia, looking for a ride next year. This is the group at the front. Alex Marquez leading from championship leader Morbidelli. Hard on the brakes there from Morbidelli, and Nakagami once again taking a little chunk. Is that sort of concertina effect, isn't it, on the brakes there?
Yeah, he's been stuck at about 1.2 seconds the last couple of laps around, hasn't he, Nakagami?
Morbidelli doesn't look like he wants to give this one up though, does he? Is there something left in this? Have we got a tasty encounter yet to come?
First rule of racing, you don't want to be beaten by your teammate, do you? That's what's keeping his attention in this race. I think if that was anybody else, he would be maybe 3 or 4 laps time, perhaps just thinking about the championship. But right now he's not thinking about that world championship at all. He's thinking about trying to hunt this man down, Alex Marquez.
Speedway style stuff there from Alex Marquez. His rear end, he's gone down! He's gone down, Alex Marquez. He had a warning a moment ago. His rear end came round, and now he's lost the front, and he can't believe it. Alex Marquez, well, if his championship chances were slim before, they're all gone now.
Yeah, he's waved goodbye to any chance of winning this year's World Championship. We just looked at Michael Bartolomei. There'll be no back-to-back 1-2 finishes for the Marc BDS team. Alex Marquez has rejoined the race, but you can just see him being passed by Hafiz Sirene. Sirene was in 18th place. He was getting a little bit erratic, wasn't he, Alex Marquez? We'd seen a couple of laps ago that he'd had a big wheel spin coming through Woodcote that time around, just pushing the front end too much on the brakes going into the loop.
And there he left a massive black mark on the circuit with his Dunlop tyre.
Well, he crashed at the loop, and he'll be going absolutely loopy now, because that's going to be a mistake that's put him out of the championship.
Will that have given Franco Morbidelli a scare as well?
Well, it's given Morbidelli a bit of daylight between himself and Nakagami. Nakagami might be coming into contention for the win. Well, he definitely is. Jorge Navarro will be given a 2.3 second penalty at the end of the race. He's obviously been doing a bit of corner cutting, which Race Direction have been clamping down on in some new race protocol today. So Jorge Navarro is currently in 13th place. That penalty will actually drop him outside the points at the moment.
There is Marquez then rejoining behind Siren, out of the points as it stands, and out of the championship. You can see on the bottom right, it's as it stands, 79 points. Now then, Tom Luthi in 3rd is praying that red and white bike in 2nd peels through on Franco Morbidelli.
Baldassarri's crashed out as well, Steve. Talk about days going from bad to worse. Started 7th, dropped down to 14th place, and they're trying to fight his way back through the pack. Down the road he's gone.
There's something left in this race. I just don't think Morbidelli's going to be willing to push too hard at the front now. He's just witnessed his teammate go down. There's 7 laps to go, and you're looking at Nakagami closing in. Now, we've not seen Nakagami win a race for a while, and that was beautifully done. Nakagami, take a bow. He'd lined that up a couple of corners ago.
Brilliant, brilliant. Ruthless, but brilliant into the village corner. Now, Nakagami, we've seen him got serious pace. Can he now stretch away from Morbidelli? Roles reverse with Marc yesterday. Was it almost a carbon copy of Morbidelli crashing in front of Marquez in Jerez? That's costly though for Alex Marquez. Really costly. He's not going to claw back that deficit. 74 points behind Morbidelli. Could be 79 if Morbidelli fights back through on Nakagami. What will Morbidelli do now? Will he twist or will he stick?
Nakagami is not a championship threat, and Morbidelli knows that. Surely he won't push it too hard. His rear end there is hovering around. He's struggling a bit with grip here as Morbidelli. And I'll tell you something else as well.
Pasini's got Luthi.
Pasini's got Luthi, and Pasini's got pace. And he might fancy a sniff at this. Luthi would do well here just to sit behind Pasini for a lap or two.
Nakagami has done nothing to suggest this kind of race this weekend. He's been completely AWOL since he was on the podium in Assen, wasn't he? That was his last podium. He was 10th in Germany from an awful 23rd on the grid. Nowhere in Brno, 24th after qualifying 15th, and then only 12th in Austria and fought his way through to the top 6. The real Nakagami has well and truly stood up this weekend. Yeah, we had to send a search part out for him back at the Czech Republic. He was so far back. Amazing what a factory Honda MotoGP contract can do for you, isn't it?
How many times does that happen? Where the hell has this Nakagami been? But it's great to have him back, because on his day, Nakagami, we know, is a real force, and it's looking like he's looking comfortable. Now then, what's this gap looking like further back? Pasini's 1.7 down. They are closing, but this race is not got too much longer left in it. Can they hunt down Morbidelli?
I think Morbidelli has gone into safety mode here. There's the crash for Baldassarri. That's also at the village corner, which claimed Alex Marquez. So Lorenzo Baldassarri. You can see big chunks of turf there. These are crucial World Championship points for Tom Luthi. He's got to somehow conjure up a move on Pasini. There might be only 3 points at stake there, but they could be 3 absolutely vital points in the championship reckoning. I don't think Morbidelli is going to do anything silly. He won't. We know he won't. He's far too savvy, far too smart and switched on to be throwing caution to the wind to fight a man who's not even in championship contention, Taka Nakagami. I think Morbidelli will see these 20 points as absolute gold.
Taka Nakagami this morning woke up a different man. Fastest in warm-up, thumbs up from the pit board, and a 1.2 second gap. I don't know what on earth they're seeing there, because that ain't 1.2. But anyway, the gap back to Pasini now is 1.3. He's closing in on Morbidelli.
He is, Steve. He was 0.6 of a second faster than Morbidelli last time around.
Stefano Manzi is up to 6th behind Pecco Bagnaia, looking for a ride next year.
This is a cracking multi-rider pack, actually, scrapping it out for 5th place. Bagnaia, Manzi, Marini, Aegerter, Corsi's there, Xavi Vierge,
Brad Binder as well,
and Oliveira, who's got back into his rhythm. Miguel Oliveira is going to be absolutely furious with what happened at the end of that hanger straight, because last time around he was a 2:07.3, was almost half a second quicker than your race leader Taka Nakagami, who we know is pushing to his absolute limit to make sure he keeps Morbidelli at bay.
Yeah, he is. He could have challenged here, couldn't he? Again. First lap's paying the price again. Here is this massive battle for 5th place then, going back to Oliveira in 12th. Brilliant stuff. Now, are we going to get something like this at the sharp end? Again, Pasini takes another 10th out of Morbidelli.
Stefano Manzi will be hoping that the British Grand Prix comes back to Silverstone next year, because boy does he adore this place. 4th last year from 34th in Moto3, and putting up an absolutely sterling fight for his first top 6 in Moto2. 3 riders here on your screens who know each other very, very well, all part of the VR46 Academy. Bagnaia, Manzi and Marini, the next generation Italians, being followed by one of the older guards, Simone Corsi. wouldn't want to have Simone Corsi behind me on the last lap when there's a 5th place up for grabs, I'll tell you that. And he's already this year, remember, Hasil wiped out the man in front of him, Luca Marini.
Backing it into Brooklands there. Meanwhile, Nakagami is about to head round and there'll be 4 left, and I think Morbidelli's waved the white flag. Only a mistake surely now will take this win away from Nakagami. Morbidelli's more worried about what's going on behind. The gap now down to 1 second between himself and fellow Italian Mattia Pasini.
I think Pasini's broken Luthi as well. Corsi up the inside of Marini. That's brave, it's bold, but it's brilliantly executed. So Corsi then now up into 7th place.
Usually it was clean as well. And he's just lost it again through as they come into Maggots. Marini pounces back again. Aegerter's there with them. Xavi, Vierge, Binder and Oliveira likewise. Another 10th. Pasini's taken out of Morbidelli through sector 1. It's down to 9 tenths now. And Luthi's just found another couple of tenths as well. Has he been holding cards close to his chest here, Tom Luthi? Is he allowing Pasini to draw him closer to his main championship rival?
I'll tell you what, Luca Marini, he's not going to let Corsi have that spot without a fight. Is he leaning on Corsi coming through Stowe? Sandro Cortesi, who's had an absolutely instantly forgettable weekend. Well, it's just been compounded. Oh, Vierge and Oliveira, that was really tight down into turn number 8. Sandro Cortesi's crashed out of this race.
That was majorly bold from Miguel Oliveira, number 44 there, to barge Xavi Vierge out of the way, and they've just for now anyway lost touch with that group. Confirmation there on the right. Cortesi out, and what a miserable 3 Grand Prix it has been for the German rider, who's still looking for a ride next year.
Pasini's got another 2 tenths on Morbidelli through the 2nd sector on this lap 15. He's now got it down to 8 tenths. He's took another 2 tenths out of Morbidelli through sector 3. It's now down to 6 tenths. Nakagami, what a few days it will be for the Japanese rider if he can get the job done here at the British Grand Prix. Only a few days ago, signing a contract with the LCR Honda team for MotoGP next year. He'll be Cal Crutchlow's teammate next season. What a way to cap off the week. The best 7 days, or one of the best 7 days in the life of Nakagami.
The last Japanese winner of a British Grand Prix, Hiroshi Oyama, 2009.
Yeah, this is over. This is game, set and match in terms of Nakagami. The only man that can deny Nakagami is Nakagami. He's got a 1.5 second buffer now. This is what the race is all about, the battle for 2nd place. Morbidelli from Pasini, and Pasini coming through Maggots has started to really close down on Morbidelli. These two had a bit of a dress rehearsal at the end of qualifying for a potential showdown. Well, the dress rehearsal was yesterday. Are we going to get the main show now?
Luthi's really struggling now in the closing stages. He's dropped 1.2 behind Pasini. There's no tyre left. His only hope here is that Pasini at least takes some precious points away from him.
He's right there. Stephen, in every of the last 4 sectors, Pasini's been 2 tenths quicker than Morbidelli. He's all over his rear tyre now coming out of Stowe.
It's just a matter of time. And he'll pick his moment wisely, Mattia Pasini. Good friends, Franco Morbidelli, Mattia Pasini.
Well, they are at the moment. There's still 2.5 laps to go.
Very true. He's using all the tyre though, isn't he, Pasini? This is not how we expected the race to pan out, folks. Not at all. I've got to say, I didn't have Nakagami down yesterday after qualifying as a contender for a race win. Maybe a podium, but here comes Pasini.
He's got that nailed.
Up the inside, Morbidelli knew it was coming as well. And that is all she wrote for 2nd. Morbidelli won't be able to fight back. The only thing this might do now is maybe prick the ears up of Tom Luthi, if he's got anything left at all. Morbidelli's about to find out via his pit board that he's got company.
Yeah, that's the crucial 4 points for Tom Luthi that Pasini's just taken off Morbidelli, because it keeps... Well, it means that Morbidelli will only be taking 3 points out of the man behind him now. Is there any life left in Tom Luthi's podium challenge?
Not sure there's any life left in his tyres, Matt. That's the problem. We'll come round with 2 laps to go, and I think the gap will be too big. Morbidelli's about to be told exactly what's going on behind him. Here is Tom Luthi. Across the line we go. Frankie's being told that he's just in a group of 2 with Pasini.
Yeah, he's got 1.5 seconds on Tom Luthi, and the last time around they pretty much did identical lap times, 2:08.6s. So Tom Luthi needs an incredible late charge here to get himself back into contention. Luca Marini's suffering a little bit. He's dropped now down to 11th place. He's been passed by Miguel Oliveira. He's dropped into the high 208, so whether he's made a mistake, Luca Marini, but he's been pushed out of the top 10.
I tell you what, Matt, another 4 or 5 laps in this race and Pasini could win it.
He's had brilliant pace, hasn't he? The last third of the race, he's been absolutely superb.
And he'll be kicking himself for what happened at the start, because it cost him so much time. Even seeing his rider leading can't force a smile just yet. Let's see if it'll happen at the end when the checkered flag is out. That's if Nakagami remains in front. At the moment, it's been a brilliant race. This has been the Nakagami we've been missing, we've been waiting for. This is the Nakagami LCR have signed. This is what they wanted to see. Here's a replay in the background there. It was a bit earlier on at turn 8. Nakagami.
Pasini is keeping this young man very, very honest at the front of this race, because he's already in the first 2 sectors on this penultimate lap taken half a second out of Taka Nakagami.
Tell you what,
is there a dramatic late twist here at Silverstone?
If it gets to under a second when they cross the line, Matt, the word lunge springs to mind on the final lap. Because Mattia Pasini can't win the championship, but he will do everything. There's more than a kitchen sink going to be lumped at it. I think Nakagami should just be able to hold on. It would be some mission, and what a win it would be if Pasini could pull it off, but I just don't think it can happen, surely.
Morbidelli has definitely got Luthi covered. Tom Luthi really struggling. He's lost another 4 tenths already on this lap, so the gap 1.9 seconds. Taka Nakagami's sister can barely watch. Not too much left of those fingernails right now for that young lady.
We start the final lap of the race. Mattia Pasini putting everything into it. He's closed another 2 tenths. It's a 2.7.6. He's a second down. Can he find 1 second on 1 lap? It's all really down to whether Nakagami makes any mistakes or rolls off.
Steve, we saw him deliver one of the best last laps of the season in Mugello when he fought through on Marquez and Luthi on that last lap. Can he repeat it? This would be even better from Pasini, because he's coming from more than a second back. He's taken out a couple of tenths in the first sector.
Now, I just want to point out that Nakagami has not actually ever seen a checkered flag as the race winner in Moto2. The race he won in Assen was red flagged. He was being hunted down by Zarco and showing signs that he might buckle. He didn't. The red flag came out, he won the race. This is pressure here for Nakagami. He cannot afford to make a mistake, but it would be a brilliant win for him, and a true win at that.
Yeah, an unlikely one. Nobody called this one coming since he won that race in Assen last year. In the 21 races since, Taka Nakagami's only been on the podium 5 times. I'm not sure that this is done and dusted just yet. Through the second sector they come now, and what's the gap? Down to 6 tenths of a second. Again, in another sector, Pasini's found 2 tenths. Is he just going to run out of time?
You're about to see Pasini lump it in to the loop corner and try desperately. He might be asking too much of the front end here, Pasini.
The kitchen sink's not coming. The whole house is coming here right now from Pasini.
Oh, sideways from Pasini. He's desperately trying to get this done. Can he? He's not close enough for slipstream, surely. Nakagami here just needs to keep himself together. What a charge this has been from Mattia Pasini.
I think that just broke his rhythm up, Steve. That big slide it did. It cost him momentum coming through Aintree Corner. Taka Nakagami 3 corners away from a famous victory here at the British Grand Prix. Surely he's got Pasini covered. Nakagami then comes through Lovefield for the final time. What a week it's been for Taka Nakagami.
Finally he sees a checkered flag as a race winner. Nakagami is back in town. Brilliant win from the Japanese rider. Will it force a smile from Takaaki? He's over the moon. Never have you seen emotion like that from Nakagami. Pasini. Well, just a small round of applause from Takaaki. His sister's happy anyway. Brilliant ride from Pasini. Morbidelli at least does what he had to do, but Michael Bartolini there left wondering what on earth happened in that race that everyone thought they would dominate.
Michael Bartolini looks like he had a date with Cindy Crawford and she didn't turn up. Deary me, what was all that about? Taka Nakagami, take that Taka. Brilliant by the Japanese rider. What a week it's been for him. Don't get much better than that. Signed on the dotted line for a factory Honda contract in MotoGP next year, and then, well, it's fair to say, an unlikely victory. I don't think anybody before warm-up this morning could have said that Taka Nakagami was going to upset the form book, but he did.
Brilliant race from Taka Nakagami, and he's emotional because,
well, he's taken a lot of stick, Steve, hasn't he? I mean, the two of us, to be fair, we've been pretty critical of him. This year, I think a lot of people thought that Taka Nakagami was going to be fighting for the championship. Good to see his fellow Japanese rider Tetsuta Nagashima offering his congratulations.
Giving a good cuddle there to his bike, and he is over the moon with that. Races that have been won in the past, riders have always said it, if they win via the red flag, especially when it's your first win, it sometimes doesn't feel quite true. It's great, but this really will mean something, and hats off to this guy, Mattia Pasini. He rused the start that he made, because that's what's ultimately cost him, but his race pace is phenomenal.
Oh, he's been absolutely sensational, Steve, this season, hasn't he? If you take out those first 3 races, ever since Texas, every single race that Pasini has finished has been in the top 5. Outstanding record. God, he'll be ruining Qatar, Argentina and Texas, because without those 3 early mishaps and the crash in Brno, then Pasini is going to be giving Morbidelli and Luthi a bit of a headache in terms of the championship battle. There's no doubt about it. Franco and Morbidelli put the shutters up for the winter there, didn't he? He just decided that it was going to be no risk strategy. He'll take the 16 points. Tom Luthi didn't really suffer a lot of damage potentially in that race. He only lost 3 points to Morbidelli. Not a podium for Luthi, but not exactly a crushing blow for his championship chances.
I think at the end of the day, Luthi's going to go in the garage and say that could have gone a lot worse. Shout out to Bagnaia after what was looking like a horrid weekend. Somehow he's mustered up a 5th place ahead of Simone Corsi. Manzi with a career best 7th. This is a shot of the winning overtake at turn 13. That was a beautifully executed move as well for the win.
If you want to show anybody how to make an overtake down into the village corner, well, just put that video on loop, because that could not have been executed any better by Taka Nakagami. Lined it up brilliantly coming through the farm curve. Clean as a whistle.
Well, if anyone's got a 3-way accumulator going on today, I think this man's just spoilt it.
Yeah, I'll be happy to admit I did not predict Taka Nakagami for the race win today. Credit to him. Well, food for thought for Alex Marquez. He'll be contemplating what might have been the race leader when he crashed out at the loop, and surely that is championship gone for Alex Marquez. He did brilliantly fight back through to 14th place, but in his heart of hearts he will know that that was probably the final blow for him. Here we go. Like you say, Steve, he had a pretty big warning from the rear tyre, hadn't he, in the previous corner.
Yeah, that's championship gone, I'm afraid. Not going to happen for him. He can still finish in the top 3, and that's what he's got to fight for.
This is crucial. This is the end of Marquez's championship challenge. It didn't really look like he was doing anything outrageously over the limit.
Mattia Pasini, well, he had a 2nd place taken off him, and a brilliant one at that in Catalonia. No one's taken this one off him. Well, we hope, anyway.
No, absolutely. Plenty of life in that old dog, no doubt about it. The elder statesman in the Moto2 World Championship at 32.
Well, you made a good point yesterday and all weekend, Matt, that why should we not consider him as a championship contender next year?
Well, I'm just trying to think, Steve. Apart from the disqualification in Barcelona and the crash in Brno, forget the first 3 races. He's finished 7 Grand Prix this year. Every single time he's been in the top 5. That's consistency that's going to get you pretty close to winning a world championship.
Here he is then, Taka Nakagami. As Matt said, he has been under the hammer a bit with a lot of people. His form hasn't been great. A lot of people saying that his passport helped along the way. Of course, Honda looking for a Japanese rider to enter MotoGP, but I tell you what, he's just spat back in everyone's faces there with a brilliant win.